baby Florida. And check out their awesome merchandise selection of your favorite South Florida sports teams. From the Miami Dolphins, Hurricanes, Heat, Marlins, Florida Panthers, and Inter Miami, they've got it all. Celebrate your favorite team and show off your fandom with their beautiful team starter jackets, killer-looking helmets, team jerseys, cool shirts, and more. And if you're out of town or out of state, no worries. Go to caneswear.com and find everything they have on their site. Select what you want, and they will ship your gear to you. Anything over $99 is shipped for free. Don't wait. Stop at Caneswear today.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a little dose of reality. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show tonight, where you come get a dose of reality. Hey, I want to welcome everybody here tonight. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. And then share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. And if you're on other platforms as well, on Twitch, on Twitter, whatever platform you're on, come over here on this side, join us over here, hit that subscribe button, like, and join the community over here. We appreciate you for joining. Hello, Rockfin. Appreciate you for joining tonight. Man. Woo! So we got a lot going on. The show, I was going to dedicate the show tonight basically to the roster projections for defense and offense for the 2024 season. And if we have time, we'll get to that. But there's so much that's happened and just today. So I'm sure you all are aware that training camp has started. And we've got some news. We got some good news. We got some bad news. And good news, we'll start with that. Tua showed up in camp today. Are you surprised? He showed up in camp today. Now, the question is he going to hold in? And we'll get a little bit of, my opinion on the contract talks and all that kind of stuff. We'll get in a little bit of that. But first, I want to give you the news that's happened. So we've had a couple people that came off the PUP, right? Physically unable to perform list. Samad Ahmed came off, and safety Mac Perry has also. I think it's Mac. If I'm not mistaken, it might be Mark. Either or, Mr. Perry has come off the physically unable to perform list. So that's good. Now for the bad news. We had David Long Jr. placed on the PUP, and Odell Beckham was placed on PUP. Are you surprised? I mean, he's had an injury history. He's an older vet now. So, I mean, I know it's a temporary list, and, he could still, he's probably going to play in the regular season. And they're probably minor injuries. or whatnot. And he's a veteran. So, but we'll see, and that goes for, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Wynn. Who else went on the list? The rookie that we drafted, Taj Washington, is out for the season. Out. He was initially put on the PUP list, but he is now out for the season. So that just leaves Malik Washington, of the draftees left, as far as wide receivers go. So, um, I don't think that's too much of a big deal, Taj. Missing the year. We still have Malik, and our regulars. So I don't think that's going to be too much of a difference maker at this point. What I will say about the Odell Beckham being placed on PUP, though, is what concerns me about that, and I know this may not concern you guys as much, and gals, but what concerns me is he's missing reps. I mean, this is his first time on this team and in this organization or this system, and he's going to be missing reps, whether it be Tua, who's holding in, or not, or Skyler or Mike White, right? So he needs to get as much reps in as possible. He's our third wide receiver, supposedly, as of now. So it is kind of a bit of a concern for me. I don't know how it is, if it's a concern for you all. Is it a concern for you all? Rockfin, is it a concern for you? It is for me. I know he's a veteran, but it's still a little concerning. Let's see. Also, let's get into the a little bit of the Tua here contract situation. All right. So I mentioned earlier, we don't know whether he's going to hold in, or maybe he takes it a step farther and he holds out. Okay. Holding out is going to cost him some monies. Okay. He's making an annual salary of $23 million a year, a little over, right? In his 5th year option. So if he misses a day, that's costing him. Hey, Cap, how you doing, brother? Appreciate you joining tonight, man. Yeah, if he misses a day, that's going to cost him a little bit over $1 million a day. Or is, I think, not a day, for, let me see. I got it here. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I got it here. Yeah, thanks, Cap. I am, brother. I'm just trying to bring good content. I try to, be as real as I can, man. Let's see. Yeah. So, okay. So a week's salary for Tua Tagovailoa is $1,287,727. So if he holds out, that's how much they're going to take out of his pay a week. I believe it's a week. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's every week. That's what he's going to be being taken out of his paycheck. But do I think it's going to go that far with Tua? Man, it's hard to say. But I would say my opinion is probably not. I think he's holding it. I think he's going to hold in. But we'll find out more details and things tomorrow and as the weeks go by. Not a lot of news on that front. As far as, the only thing I heard was he showed up in camp, didn't hear anything about him participating, whether they were doing any 11-on-11s or 7-on-7s. I think it's pretty early at this point, but we'll see as camp progresses if he does actually hold in and doesn't participate in the practices. If that's the case, and then you've got Beckham out, and that's going to be, if we were counting on Beckham as our third receiver, then it's going to be a bit of a concern for me. Okay. Um, and the reason why I say that is because now we've got Taj Washington, who's out for the season, right? They're one of the wide receivers that we drafted. We have Malik, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Um, but on the contract, my thing is, one of the things that I heard today as was by color commentary. He brought this up, and I thought it was a good point. He was talking about the lawsuit that's been going on with the NFL, and they lost that suit, right? If you all are familiar with that, they lost that suit. They're going to be coming up with big bucks. I mean, they're going to have to pay like 4 billion, I think it is, somewhere in there, give or take a few few dollars. But so my point to that is is that affecting these quarterbacks that are wanting to get the big bucks, wanting to get paid now? For instance, Jordan Love, he's holding out. Uh, Dak Prescott and quarterbacks like that, right? Is that going to affect them getting more monies? Is it going to affect Tua? Because owners and GMs now they're going to have to think about that and scratch their head and say, wait a minute, man, they're going to get cap money, right? But how much? It may not be as a big lump sum or big percentage as they gotten in the past. They may have to shave some of that monies down, and I'm sure they will. So they've got to think about that, and then they got to think of their own team's needs and the monies that they're projecting to have for next year and even this year, right? So they have to think ahead. So they're thinking, a couple years down the line, if not more, right? So I think that might have an effect on Tua's contract, and then also I think with Tua, I think it's basically the guaranteed monies is what they're fighting over, right? The guaranteed monies, because that's the real money. All right. All that other stuff is fluff. Like Omar Kelly says, it's the fluff. You may see a call, he's making $280 million and $60 million a year. Yeah. But how much is he fully guaranteed? That's what counts. See, that's what I'm concerned with. I want to see what the guaranteed monies is if they do decide to pay Tua. And I said this in a few weeks back. I said I think it's 50-50 that chance now that they pay him. I really do, and the percentages might be even lower now, but that's just the way I see it. And it's possible if they do make him play out his 5th-year option, and let's say he doesn't ball out, like he did this past year, right? Let's say he doesn't ball out this year or last year. Let's say he doesn't ball out this year, right? Or we don't get to the playoffs again. And then they still have, they have another question, man, this guy can't, this is the 3rd year in a row. We haven't won a playoff game or possibly not even make the playoffs. And he didn't ball out. He had a decent year, but we didn't make the playoffs. A decent year, I mean productively as far as stats are concerned. Okay. They could put the transition tag on him. They don't have to put the franchise tag on him, because the franchise tag next year will be like 42 million, a little over. And the transition tag is 35 million. It's cheaper. So they could do that and say, hey, dude, test the market. Test the market. And if somebody matches it, we could pay it or we may not. So that's where I think the catch is the guaranteed monies. And, let's see, he has 1 year left on his contract, right? And then if they give him a contract, let's say they give him a 4-year extension for $140 million, right? I'm game for that. I would be happy with that. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't be happy in the sense that I don't think that they should pay him the extension. I think he should play out his option, right? A prove it year again, because there is a lot of questions with his injury history, his health, his concussions, and all that stuff, and not winning a playoff game, and didn't win an AFC championship, AFC divisional game, right? We weren't, we blew it, and losing the, down the stretch again. So no, I don't think he deserves it. But if they are to give him the money, which, like I said, is 50-50, I wouldn't be unhappy with, I would be happy with a $140 million guaranteed, even 150, 160, so we'll see, guys. We'll see. That's what count as the guarantees money with me, the fully guaranteed monies. Everything else is fluff, um and if he balls out and if he does great, then he gets the rest of the money, right? But if he doesn't, at least you have maybe a 2-year out, and something similar to like a Daniel Jones or someone like that, So that's how I feel about the Tua contract, and in my opinion, we'll see, right? We'll see. But yeah, guys, we got a lot of folks on the pub this year so far, right before training camp starts. Crazy, crazy. So also we did sign wide receiver Kareek. I think it's no, Rayrick. I'm bad with names. Rayrick McCowan. He played 2 games for the Washington Commanders in 2022. And yeah, thanks, Cap. Thanks. But so he's probably the guy that they brought in as a camp body, right, to replace the Todd Washington loss. What else did I want to go over? Oh yeah. The Agba signing. As you all know, we signed Agba back with the Miami Dolphins, and let's see what you have to say, Cap. Thoughts on the Dolphins trading their 26th pick in 2020 to the Green Bay Packers, which helped them draft Jordan Love, which was the same draft as Tua. Well, as we heard, Flores wanted Jordan Love. He wanted Jordan Love. And yeah, man, I wanted Tua. So I really did. And I bought into the hype and all that stuff, And but what did Tua really do in college, right? He won that one championship game. He came in through a touchdown and won, right? And he had a history. It's traveled with him into the NFL, But I bought into the hype and all that, and so I wanted Tua. I really did. I liked Flores as a coach. I really did. I mean, think about it. Let me talk about Flores for a second, since you brought that up, Cap, or got me thinking about Flores. I was reading something the other day. Let's see where I found that at. Oh, yeah. Flores was 19-14 in his last 2 seasons. He had only one 17-game season, and with Tua Tagovailoa for 21 of those games. Okay, for 21 of those games. So he was 19-14, but he had only one 17-game season. The other, remember the first year Flores was here was 16 games. So, and raise it up to 17. Now with Mike McDaniel with two 17-game seasons, he's 20-14, right? And Tua Tagovailoa has been the quarterback 29 of those games. 29 of those games. And with a much better roster. So my question to you all is, are we that much better off? Are we that much better off? Think about it. Tua didn't have Flores didn't have Armstead. He didn't have Mostert. He didn't have Achane. He didn't have Wilson. He didn't have Tyreek. Right? He didn't have Connor Williams. Think about that. So just food for thought. What did Cap asking? Let's see, Cap. I heard that today and did not know how to react or to think. Yeah, I got you. Our running game will be fine. I trust McDaniel's scheme. Yeah, Cap, I do trust McDaniel's scheme. And I think here's where I disagree with you a little bit. I agree a running back is going to be fine. Heck, we were 7th best in the league last year. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. We don't have a power back. Unless you're counting on Chris Brooks to be the power back. You know, when we're 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, you know, cold. You know, when it's cold on grass. That's what we were lacking last year in the running game. That's why you saw McDaniel when everybody said, "Oh, McDaniel abandoned the run." Okay, that's fair to an extent. Here's where I'm going to say that I disagree with folks when they say that. How are you going to run a 5'8", 188-pound running back or a 5'10", 200-pound, injury-prone Raheem Mostert down the middle when there's a heavy box? You think those two guys are gonna pile drive that defense and get that additional 2 yards or 3 yards? They tried it a few times. During the year, but then guess what? Then the fans are saying, all fans are saying, why didn't they throw it? We got Tyreek. We got Waddle. Can't win for losing. But yeah, I agree with you, Cap, man. We don't have no choice to believe, but I'm being realistic here, man. You know. Sure, I want to believe in my team and I hope that they get us the Super Bowl or hell. I'm not even going to say that. I was going to say even win a playoff game, but I have higher expectations for this team than that. Guys, come on. Last year we had a loaded roster. And we couldn't do it. What makes you think we're going to do it this year with a new defensive coordinator, second year defensive coordinator, because he was with Houston and they were 32nd in the league at that time, right? But what makes everybody think we're going to be better? We don't have Hunt. We don't have Connor Williams. Terron Armstead, how many games is he good for? How many games is Wynn good for? If he even comes back from the PUP. We don't have 2 edge rushers, and I'm going to get into that too. We don't even have our 2 edge rushers healthy, right? And we don't even know when they're going to come back. And if they do come back, At what level are they going to play? Are they going to play at that high level they were playing before they got hurt? Are they? All right, and we got Agba, okay? And I'm going to switch gears a little bit here. We got Agba, all right? Emmanuel Agba. Okay, he was good in the Flores system. Speaking of Flores again, he was good in the Flores system. The zero blitz, right? I mean, everybody feasted in that system. Everybody got the opportunity to go after the quarterback. Everybody took turns, right? But Agba didn't fit in the Fangio system, did he? Plus, we were paying him big bucks. That's one of the reasons why we got rid of him. We were paying him all this big bucks. He got hurt, right? Injury. And we got him back again this year. I grant you, we got him for what, $5-6 million? 1 year contract. 1 year contract, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, we got a lot of our defensive players on a 1 and maybe 2 year contract. I think Fuller got a 2 year contract and someone else, if I'm not mistaken. Help me out if you know, right? So, what do you expect from Agba in the Anthony Weaver system? I don't know. This is the first time he's played in this system. This is the first time Anthony Weaver, our second time Anthony Weaver has had an opportunity to be a defensive coordinator. The first time he failed. Sure, he comes from Baltimore Ravens, but he wasn't. He was a defensive line coach. He wasn't a defensive coordinator. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know. I have a lot of questions about this defense. I really do, especially now. Shaq Barrett, he retired. Good for him. I get it. Okay? We got Agba. But guess who we have now that's going to be forced? It's going to be forced to put in. They're going to put these guys into the fire. Kamara, right? Mo, and Chop Robinson. 2 rookies. They're rookies, people. They're rookies. Look how long it took Jalen Phillips to progress. Look how long it took Christian Wilkins. Look how long it took AVG. At least 2 years, year and a half, 2 years. And the crazy thing about it is Chop Robinson, his in college, he wasn't really he has a lot of talent, a lot of potential, right? He's terrible against the run, and he wasn't playing and against good teams in college, he was ranked 300. 300 out of all, defensive ends in college. 300 playing against good teams. And he didn't get a lot of reps in college. He didn't. Right? And now you're going to throw him into the fire, into the NFL with the big boys, and he's only 6'1", 250 pounds. And he's terrible against the run. Right? And guess what? Guess who we're playing the first 3 or 4 games of the season? Teams that have a good running game. That are physical teams. Physical offenses and defenses. And we're throwing 2 rookies in there. They better learn fast. They better learn real quick. And Mo didn't play in a big time conference either. He had good production against bad college teams. He's another little guy, a short guy, big compared to me, but he's small compared to the NFL prototype size for his position. A lot of potential, though. So we're going to have 2 rookie defensive ends starting, or edge rushers. And then we know what Agba is. Right? Who else do we have? Cameron Goods on PUP. Is he coming back? What did he do last year or the year before? So, yes, I have a lot of questions on defense. Okay. It takes a defense 4 to 5 weeks to gel. It really does. And now you've got 2 rookies. Okay. And then you've got a brand new cornerback from another system coming over here from Washington, right? And Kendall Fuller. You got Jordan Poyer, who's declining, which I got something to talk about him about too, right? He's not the same Jordan Poyer for 3-4 years ago. We got May, maybe May and him will rotate in. I don't know. It all depends on Weaver, right? We don't know. We don't even know. We're only speculating what Weaver's defense is going to be like, right? We have an idea maybe, but we really don't know, right? But so that's my thoughts on the defense. Shaq Barrett is a bigger loss than a lot of folks make it out to be, in my opinion. Okay. He had good leadership qualities. He's been an all-pro, right? Um, he didn't have a great season last year, but he was solid. He held his own. Now, thank God we got Calais Campbell. Man, if we didn't have Calais Campbell, if we didn't reach out to him, I don't know, man. Are you really going to depend on Benito Jones and Ter Tarts and Gulliver, whatever his name is from Dallas? And who else? We got somebody else in there. I know I'm forgetting some folks. We got like 7 defensive tackles. Maybe if maybe someone will come out of that pile, and be productive. I mean, they're veterans. I mean, they played. So, I mean, I'm not saying they're going to be disastrous, but are they as good as Christian Wilkins was? Right? So, I don't know. We'll see. But switching back to Jordan Poyer, he had I guess it was an interview or something. I didn't see it. I only heard. So maybe you guys have saw it, where he said that the Dolphins were I guess this is when he was playing with the Buffalo Bills. He was saying that he felt the Dolphins had a lack of mental toughness, or physicality. I would say physicality. But anyway, I didn't say that. He said that. He's on our team now. Get mad at him. That's what he said. I think that's all I wanted to say about that. But yeah, man, it's it's going to be a tough year. I know a lot of folks, a lot of Dolph fans, a lot of podcasters. That they push a lot of hopium, right? And I get it. It's their team. They love their team. So do I. I'm a diehard Dolphin fan since 1969. But I have been slapped in the face so much with this Miami Dolphins football team after the 70s, right? Because I was there during the 70s in the Orange Bowl. I went to all those games, the undefeated season and all that stuff. And I saw what a real team is made of, And I have watched literally maybe thousands of quarterbacks throughout the years, right? The turnover of quarterbacks. And not just quarterbacks, but players in general. I've never played NFL football, never played at the college level, played high school, but just from my experience in watching football and just the eye test, basically. I know when I see a good quarterback or a quarterback that has a lot of potential, or a defensive lineman or a tackle or something. I feel pretty comfortable when I make those calls about players. Yeah, I've been wrong several times, but more as over the years, I've gotten better at judging players, their potential and all that, and so I feel comfortable when I talk about different players. Well, this guy's going to be this, good, or this guy's going to be bad, or whatnot. But I guess my point is, this Miami Dolphins football team lacks physicality. It really does. And when you play in December and January, right? When you play in December and January, uh, physicality is the name of the game. The team that's the most physical is going to win, right? Most of the time. You've seen it all through the years. Okay. And more so now in this era than back when I was watching football in the 70s and even the 80s. Quarterbacks have more offenses, period, and quarterbacks, right? When they get into the playoffs, that's what makes the difference. Okay? Because defenses, especially with the rules and things now and all that, it's catered more towards the offense. The offense have more advantage. So the defenses are at a disadvantage most of these most of these playoff games and in the Super Bowl, for example. Look at the Super Bowl, right? What happened? Defenses broke down, and who won that game? Who took over that game? Patrick Mahomes. Brock Purdy had a really good game too. He made maybe 2 or 3 critical errors, but that's all it took, and they lost. But he played a decent game. He didn't lose that game for 49ers. It's Patrick Mahomes carried his team. And that's why I'm so critical of Tua. He's a good quarterback. He has a lot of good traits. I would even say elite traits. Getting the ball out quick. Things of that nature. But he doesn't carry the team. He doesn't carry the team. What is Pete? Hey, Pete, thanks for joining me tonight, brother. Jalen Hurts had one of the best Super Bowl performances ever, and one mistake cost him against Mahomes. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Pete. Exactly. What was the other comment? What do you think about the cheetah saying he's not going to be selfish? Bull crap. I don't believe a word that comes out of his mouth, man. He has put his foot in his mouth so many times it ain't even funny. Okay? He wants his money. I know you've heard that. He definitely wants his money. He wants guaranteed monies because he's not getting any guaranteed money after this year. So he definitely wants his money. He's a diva. He really is. He really is. And I know he said, "Oh, I asked my agent, but I want my money, but I don't want to be traded." Let me tell you something. If Miami doesn't pay him the money that he's looking for, right? You watch. He's going to be asking for a trade. He is. That's just my opinion. And all that crap he says about Tua's the most accurate passer I've ever played with, and all this stuff, even before he played with him, that's all bull crap. That's my opinion, guys. But anyway, I wanted to go over the projections, the 2024 roster projections, 2024. So let's do that. Let me go in here and get the list that I had here, and we'll go over that. I don't know. I don't know, Pete. I don't know if he's going to be demanding a trade. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. My question to the chat earlier, Pete, you weren't here, I don't think, was is he going to hold? Is he going to decide to hold out, or is he going to hold in and just not participate in 11 on 11s and things like that? That's what I'm interested in. You know, at this point, I don't think he's going to ask for a trade, and I don't think Miami's not going to trade him, right? But let's be real here. Let's see if I can find what I wanted to look for now. Let's see, 2024 depth roster. Miami Dolphins. Let's see what we got. All right. Here we go. So what do you guys want to, and gals, what do y'all want to start off with? The offense or the defense? Offense or the defense? I don't know, Pete. I don't know. I don't know. If you took it that way, I didn't read into that he was making to it seem like he was selfish. Like I said, let's let it play out. Let's see what happens in the next couple weeks through training camp. Offense, Pete says offense. Anybody else say differently? If not, we'll start with the offense. All right. So let's start with quarterback position. We know as of now, right? Tua is our quarterback. He's going to be our quarterback, one way or the other. As I said, I think it's a 50-50 chance that they pay him. I'd like to see him play out his option, his fifth-year option, but we'll see. Mike White and Skylar Thompson. Sorry, Pete, but there is definitely going to be some competition there, I think, especially with the contract situation with Tua this year between Mike White and Skylar Thompson. And I'm just being realistic. I think Mike White outplayed Skylar Thompson in the preseason last year. But I do believe Skylar Thompson, he's younger, and I believe he has more potential than Mike White. Whether the Miami Dolphins decide to give him a fair shot or not is yet to be seen, right? I think I know a lot of people disagree with me, but I think it has to do with a lot of politics. I think they paid Mike White this money, right? Big money. And for a backup anyway. And so I don't know, man. I mean, I would hate for Skylar Thompson to be cut or even traded, for like a 7th round or something like that. Who knows, but I don't know. I really like Skylar Thompson. I really do. More than Mike White. Gavin Hardison, he don't have a chance. Come on. All right, the running back situation is going to be it's going to be interesting this year, I think. Because we have Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane, Jalen Wright, Jeff Wilson, and then of course we got Samad Ahmed, right? Now Samad Ahmed just came off the PUP list, okay? All these running backs that we have are similar, with the exception of Chris Brooks. He's the oddball of the group. Wow. I would say Raheem's definitely going to make it, of course. Devon A-Chain, no, those are our starters. Jalen Wright is a given. I think the battle's going to be between Jeff Wilson, Ahmed, and Chris Brooks. And what do you all think? Who do you all think are going to be? Who's going to be the uh, who's going to win that battle? Brooks, Wilson, or Ahmed? Who do you all think? Um, Honestly, I think it's going to be Mostert, Achan, Wright. Maybe I'm being biased because I like Chris Brooks, but I think it's going to be right. Yeah, Mostert, Achan, Wright, and Brooks, and of course Alec Ingold. We'll count him as a running back as well. That's who I think our running backs are going to be this year. Odd man out is Brooks and Ahmed probably. Man. I'd like to see more Brooks. We only got a small sample size of him last year. I liked what I saw. He does run with a little more power. Hey, Raphael, thanks, brother, for joining. Hey, make sure you all hit that like button. It really helps. And also, if you're new to the channel, please share and subscribe, and then share with your friends, your families, your neighbors. Share with everybody. So I'd really like to see Brooks stick around. So our wide receivers. So Taj Washington, we all know he's gone. He's out for the season. We got Tyreek. We got Waddle. Those are our starters. Elda Beckham is on the PUP. We'll see what happens with him, but he'll probably, if nothing happens, if there's nothing, if the extent of his injury or whatever is minor and he plays this year, he's back and sometime during training camp, or he's able to play through the season. Yeah, we're going to keep Odell Beckham. He's our third wide receiver. Then I think Barrios is going to make it, and I think it's tough because you got Malik Washington. We don't know what he's made of yet. Only in college. We've seen him in college. I think Malik makes it though, and I think it's Braxton Berrios for his special teams. And he made some decent catches last year. So I think that's 3. That's 5. I think we might keep 6, and I think Isukama's out. Braylon Sanders is out. Schwartz is out. We just signed Kareem McCowan, so I think he'll be out. Jaquan Burton out. So that's who I think. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Odell Beckham, Barrios, Malik Washington, and River Craycraft. Yeah. That's who I think is going to make the team. Oh, really? Raphael, you heard that Connor Williams was in today for a workout. I heard something different. I heard he was not today, but yesterday I read where he was working out for the Seattle Seahawks. So those are just rumors. So we'll see. As far as the tight ends go, Jono Smith is gonna be here. He might even be our starter. Durham Smythe will be here. Julian Hill will be here. Whew, man, I forgot about Fortson Jr. So the battle's going to be between Julian Hill and Jody Fortson Jr. I know in OTAs. Hey, California, how you doing, brother? Appreciate you. Yeah, I think Fortson made some noise in OTAs, right? So I don't know. Hill's good. I like Hill's blocking ability. So I'm going to go with Jono Smith, Durham Smythe, You know what? I'm going to go with Jody Fortson. I think he beats out Julian Hill. Julian Hill's back on the practice squad. That's what I think. Yeah, you did read about Seattle, Raphael? Yeah, 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 I did too. So I don't know. We'll see, man. It'd be nice to get him back, but then we got Aaron Brewer. What are we going to do with him? We just paid him some money, not as much as Williams would be getting, but remember we got to pay him too, Williams. So that's somebody else. If he comes back and we sign him, we're going to have to pay him some money, man. He was the 5th best center in football. So, and especially with this Tua contract thing and Tyreek Hill, and we got Holland we still have to pay, and Phillips when he comes back. So we got a lot of folks we still have to sign. So okay, so that's who I say the wide receivers were going to be. Tight end Durham Smythe, Hill, and Jody Fortson. That's who I think. And of course, Alec Ingold is going to be our fullback. Now, left tackle. Taron Armstead is, starting. Patrick Paul is a given. Now, Ryan Hayes and Byron Matos. So I think, of course, it's going to be Armstead, Patrick Paul. We've got to see. Yeah, that's out of those. Patrick Paul and Armstead definitely going to be here. Left guard, we're going to have Isaiah Wynn, Lester Cotton, Matthew Jones, Ireland Brown. Whew. Cotton's familiar with the system, so I think Cotton will come back. I think Isaiah Wynn, if he gets off PUP, will come back. We'll have to watch that. We'll see there. Center, of course. Well, now that rumor with Connor Williams, working out for the Dolphins again. We'll see how that goes. But as of now, I got Aaron Brewer as a center. Liam Eichenberg will be back. Andrew Mayer, he's not going to make it. Right guard, here's an interesting one. You have Chase and Hines. I don't think he makes the team. And then you've got Jack Driscoll and Robert Jones. Jack Driscoll and Robert Jones. Wow. Jack Driscoll could make a push. Okay. He comes from the Philadelphia Eagles. He could make a push. Yeah, I think Jones is going to make it. I think Driscoll, he'll probably be around. I don't know if he starts or not, but I think he'll be around. And then you got Austin Jackson, Kendall Lamb, and Keon Smith. Keon Smith might be the odd man out. They might place him on the practice squad. And, Kendall Lamb, of course, he's going to back up. He did a very good, good job, solid job when Taron Armstead went down. So I think we'll keep him. Of course, Austin Jackson's our starter. So let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, wow. Wow. So out of the 10, I think one of them will not make the team. So the question is, will it be Driscoll, Eichenberg, or Cotton? I know the team likes Eichenberg. He can play tackle, he can play guard, he can play center. I think he was better at center than he was at guard, actually. So that's my projections. And what I'm going to do, guys, and I know this is all verbal right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to design a list of the roster that I think the folks are going to start and they're going to make the team, and then I'll put it up on the screen. So give me about a week or two to do that, and I'll put that up there. But for right now, tentatively, that's who I think is going to make the offense. And of course, the starters and everything. We all know who that is. We could all predict that without, blindfolded. But anyway, we'll do the defense. We'll probably do the defense next Tuesday. We'll go over the defense. And I might have that list made up by then, but we'll see. We'll see, guys. Hey, listen, guys, I appreciate you for joining tonight. And make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And I think tonight that'd be it. And we'll see, man. I'm really interested to see what's going to be happening in the next week with the Tua thing and everything. We'll see how that works out. And who else is going to be put on the pub, right? So, yeah, we got some interesting times ahead. But this year is going to be tough, guys. This offense is going to have to come out, firing on all cylinders. We've got some really, really tough teams to play towards the end of the schedule. And in the beginning, we've got some tough physical teams, beginning with Jacksonville. And we play against a lot of really good quarterbacks too. So that's our defense is going to be challenged early this year. So that's the biggest question mark for me on this Miami Dolphins football team is the defense. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I will say God bless and good night.
Miami Dolphin fan, let me ask